Hey guys, it's Maddie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am here with Jamie Lee from Bird Tricks, and we are talking about my favorite bird in the whole wide world, the pigeon. So you guys probably know Cooper, my homing pigeon, and today we're going to be talking about a bunch of facts that you didn't know but probably should or might want to know about pigeons. So stick around.
So number 7 about pigeons is how you keep them outside. You were mentioning, and actually my husband David asked you, like, could you just house them outside all year round? Because we get asked that about parrots, and unfortunately, depending on where you live, you can't, most people can't do that. But how does that relate to pigeons? Because it seems like it is possible since they live outside.
So I don't have any personal experience keeping pigeons outdoors in aviaries all year round, but it can be done. As you know, pigeons live all across the US in cities all year round, even when it gets below freezing. The most important thing with outdoor aviaries, if you're going to keep them outdoors year round or outdoors in general, is that you predator proof it, because they are fat little chickens and everything wants to eat them. Hawks, raccoons, your neighbor's cat, everything wants to break in. So predator proofing is like the #1 most important thing. And another thing would be getting a little place where they can get out away from the elements. So a place where they can stay dry and a little bit more warm when it gets cold and when it starts snowing and raining and everything. So a covered place with some hay for them to nest in would be like ideal. And then obviously if you have the option when it gets really cold to bring them inside, that's always great too.
Aww. Look at all that love you're getting.
No, he's a good boy most of the time.
Most of the time. Okay, since we are primarily a parrot channel, if you have parrots and you're like, hey, I want to get pigeons too, I imagine they don't mix, but I have no experience because I've never had a pigeon. Do pigeons mix with parrots?
I would only keep pigeons with other pigeons, just because parrots are very beaks on, and these guys have very wimpy beaks that can be snapped off very easily. So if you have a curious parrot that likes testing anything, if you know how some parrots will like grab at each other's beaks and, you know, just like play with each other, well, if you grab at a pigeon's beak, it's just gonna pop off. So I would recommend not keeping your pigeons and your parrots together.
Okay, one of the things I think pigeons have the upper hand on parrots with is the dust.
Oh,
so
yes.
My husband's allergic to dusty parrots, but this is like a whole other level of dust that we've experienced.
Yes.
We obviously turned off the air filter for filming so that you guys could get better audio, but it's way more intense than I ever imagined. So we've had doves in the past and they're definitely dusty, but not like this. So can you elaborate on that at all?
So as a mainly pigeon household, we have our African gray, and I would say probably each pigeon produces twice of what our African gray does, and they're about the same size as an African gray, maybe a little bit bigger. But the thing about like the pigeon dust is it's like, it's fine and chunky and it just goes all over the air. With the African gray dust, it seems to just coat things, but that's not a luxury with the pigeons. It gets in the air and it goes everywhere. You definitely need like a very high-powered HEPA filter in like at least your pigeon room and most likely the rest of your house too. Also, if you're sensitive to dust or just to be safe, it doesn't hurt to wear a mask when you're cleaning cages and stuff, and it's definitely something you're going to want to vacuum every day because it does get super dusty. And like I said, vacuuming the air in the summer, I keep the window open all summer just so it just like vents in and out, and I just keep this door closed and it's just a nice little cycle. Yeah.
Awesome.
And then very dusty.
Bathing, does that help? Do you bathe your pigeons?
Yeah. So every time, you should be letting your pigeons out every day. Every time they're allowed out of their cage, they have a high walled cat litter box, which is in the bathtub soaking because it's covered in dust. But fill that, change it a couple times a day because it gets super dusty, and they will go down and they will bathe themselves and get some of the dust off of their feathers. It does really help, but it doesn't eliminate everything, as you can see. So.
Okay, so the first thing we noticed when we walked into your pigeon room was your amazing wardrobe for your pigeons. And it was adorable. But seriously, what's up with the wardrobe? Because my parrots don't have a wardrobe.
So my pigeons have, they're called Flypers. Some people call them Flypers, bird pants, harnesses. I have probably like 20 of them, and the only bird of mine that really ever wears them is Cooper, even though he has women clothes too, but it's okay. He rocks them all. So this is a Flyper. I actually line it with like the cheapest panty liner I can find. because there's like no chemicals in them, and just change them every couple of hours. So when he's flying around in this room, I don't typically put them on him, and I just let him free poop, and this is his chaos room. He can do whatever he wants in here. But if I take him outside especially, I keep him on a leash, and these have a little ring right down here that you can clip a little leash to, and so it acts as a harness, and then also it catches their poop, and it's like kind of vented down here, like his whole like cloacal opening is not down there, so it kind of like falls down away from him when he poops, and so he can be out in the rest of the house without causing, you know,
grossness.
Yeah, a chaos mess in the rest of the house.
That's pretty awesome. That design has come a really long way, because back in the day when Dave and I tried putting like a little diaper on one of our budgies, all it did was smear all the poop underneath, like up against the bird, and made a bigger problem for us, really. I get all of my Flypers from Bev's Bird Boutique, and she's been great with them. I did get 1 or 2 off of Etsy, and they like, yeah, it was like a mess. It was like getting all over his feathers, and the Velcro was almost like Barbie and just like ripped right off, so it would not be safe to like take a bird outside if you didn't have it like really secure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome wardrobe, Cooper. I think you have more things than I do. Okay, and lastly, and this is probably what they're most well known for, is like the homing pigeon thing, where it sounds like, and I don't fully understand the concept because I'm obviously never dealt with homing pigeons, but it sounds like you can take them fairly far away from home and they just know where home is and they can find their way back. Can you just kind of fill people in on why they can do that, what that entails?
So I don't think anybody's exactly sure why they can do it. There's some theories where they can see landmarks and everything, but then there's also studies that have been done where they put like contacts over their eyes so they can't see, so they think they have some sort of electromagnetic thing in their brain that like pulls them back towards their home. But basically when you're racing pigeons, what they're racing to get back to is their mate. So you take the male and you drive them far away. They can fly 700 miles in a day, and you drive them far away to an unknown location, let them go, and they fly all the way back home to get to their lady or man. There are gay pigeons. So that's what they're flying home for, and they can fly like up to 92 miles an hour, but typically they go 50 to 60 miles an hour. So they're pretty fast and efficient.
Fast.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And usually they don't take breaks too, so
wow.
very fast.
So pretty fit pigeons, because our parrots, we've clocked them around like 70 something per hour. I know some falcons can go up to 90, but that's usually in like a full-on drop, right? So it kind of seems like, I've read some books on birds of prey and stuff like that, and it seems like the pigeons almost always win when they're conditioning a falcon. Almost always win, so they actually have to do some things to handicap the pigeons sometimes so that the falcons don't get so discouraged they just give up and quit. But it seems like these guys are just almost built for speed and agility, and
yeah, they're definitely long distance flyers, and they can go pretty fast for how long they can go to. I think the longest flight ever recorded was over 7,000 miles, and it took 24 days.
Whoa,
so I think
that's
it was from
so amazing.
France to Vietnam, if I can remember correctly, but don't quote me on that. I'm not positive.
That's super cool. It's not going on YouTube or anything.
Yeah, you're good.
And then lastly, I noticed like you're giving him a lot of affection and stuff, and he looks to me like he enjoys that. Do a lot of your pigeons enjoy physical affection, or is that just kind of a case-by-case basis like it would be with parrots?
It is a case-by-case basis, and a lot of times if you have a pigeon that's like nervous, if you like work with them, hold them, talk to them, hand feed them and everything, they can come around to liking affection. And some days he just doesn't want affection, and some days he'll sit here and he'll just like preen me and I'll preen him, but it depends on the day and it depends on the bird. So you just kind of got to get like the right bird.
So if you handed him off to somebody else, is he bonded to you, I guess would be my question. So if you just handed him to a friend who came over and was like, hey, I want to get to know your pigeon, would he be relatively calm with that person? Or do you feel like you have established a really prominent relationship to where he's responsive just to you?
I think he's calm with pretty much anyone. I can like, I'll take him into public and we go on walks to the park and stuff and people will pet him. I think if he were to like be in an open room and have a choice, he would probably fly to one of us maybe. But honestly, like if somebody's head is somewhere, he might just fly to their head. He's a big like head flyer and he'll bounce from person to person on their head. So it just depends. I think I would like to think we have something special. But I think he's pretty good with most people.
Aww. So overall, just pigeons as pets. would you recommend them? Who would you recommend them to? Who would you recommend them against? Just as a general, pigeons as pets.
So definitely recommend them against anyone who has a problem with dust or dust allergies.
Yeah.
That's a no-go for them. I'd recommend them to someone who doesn't like really loud birds, but still wants a bird. Maybe doesn't want a bird that's going to live 50 plus years. They're less of a commitment. Doesn't really mind much of a mess. Poop-wise, I think they're about the same as parrots, honestly. But dust-wise, they definitely have parrots beat, and they molt. When they molt really heavily. Like, you can make like several pillows out of their feathers each year. So just keep that in mind too. But somebody who wants like a quiet bird that has a, you know, not short but moderate lifespan, and they can be like affectionate, they're not destructive, and they're kind of just chill and good to hang out and not destroy your house or piss your neighbors off.
Ha! So. Always good things. Talking me into it more and more. Awesome. Well, thank you, Maddie. Those of you guys that have never seen Maddie before here on the channel, because she's brand new to our channel, Maddie Smith, she has pigeons over on her channel, so I will leave a link in the video description for you guys to go check out more. Since our masterclass that we did, we knew nothing about pigeons other than stuff that was fairly obvious to us. If you guys want to learn more and get more content on pigeons, head over to her channel and check it out. And thank you so much for being here. And thank you, Cooper. You were awesome.
Thank you for having us.
Super noisy and destructive and super distracting.
So good. Distracting with his handsome looks. Thanks. So if you guys enjoyed those facts and you want to see the first half of the video, you guys can head over to the Bird Tricks channel. I will link it in the description below, and you can see all of the other interesting facts about pigeons. Thanks, guys.